Hey everyone, and welcome to the next video of Star Wars Month 2026. If you guys remember, in the first video of Star Wars Month this year, I reviewed the video game Star Wars The Force Unleashed. But today, I'm going to be taking a look at the sequel, Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2. Now, this game was released in 2010, 2 years after the first game, and it continues Starkiller's journey. So, let's read the back of the box. Betrayed by Darth Vader for the last time, Starkiller has escaped and faces a new journey to find his true identity. Unleash fury. Wield dual lightsabers and new force powers to crush your enemies. Unleash truth. Sequel to the award-winning story. Continue the epic Star Wars saga. So, as I said, this game was released 2 years after the original game came out, and the story is set 2 years after the events of the first game. It turns out, after the death of the original Starkiller, Galen Marek, Darth Vader actually tried a cloning process on the planet Kamino to create another perfect version of his fallen apprentice, and the clone that we are following is the main character. He was basically trained by Vader cruelly and using these flashbacks as a training tool. And eventually during the training, Vader basically declares the clone to be another failure in a long line of failures, but the Starkiller clone escapes Kamino and seeks out Jedi General Rahm Kota, who was the mentor to the original Starkiller. And then it's all a big journey for Starkiller to find Juno Eclipse, who was basically Starkiller's lover in the first game, after she was kidnapped by Vader. And it's basically a big journey to go and find her, and also stop Vader and also find out who he really is. Basically, Starkiller needs to find out who he is. It's kind of Shadow the Hedgehog-like, but not really. So one of the biggest differences in The Force Unleashed 2 is the gameplay. As said on the back of the box, you wield 2 lightsabers this time around. Not 1, but 2. And I have to admit, the combat, the hack and slash gameplay, it's a lot quicker than it is in the first game. Like, I don't know if it's the fact that I don't know if it's the fact that it's a more powerful graphics engine or the fact that you're wielding 2 lightsabers, but it does feel a lot smoother and quicker than it does in the first game. I just think it's a bit quicker and smoother. And as ever, you face off against all sorts of enemies, mainly in this game, Imperial troops, like stormtroopers and such, because you are on the run from the Empire, basically, and you are helping out the Rebel Alliance. We even get a little short level on the planet Dagobah, and this is where Starkiller actually meets Master Yoda. We actually get to see Master Yoda, and Starkiller then basically finds out more about his past, or rather the past of the person he was cloned from. And he basically then joins forces with the rebellion to head back to Kamino to face off against Vader to save Juno. And along the way, you do face off against more enemies like troops, like Imperial troopers, but you also face off against like Terror droids, which are these droids that Vader provided to the bounty hunter Boba Fett in order to stall the apprentice, to stall Starkiller. And also as well as like Sith acolytes and saber guards, that sort of thing. And eventually you do face off against Darth Vader himself, and Starkiller then unleashes all of his fury on him after Vader threatens Juno's life, until eventually Vader is at his mercy. And then, just like in the first game, you decide which ending you want. You can either go for the dark side ending, where Starkiller tries to strike Vader down, but ends up killed by another clone, which was actually a perfect clone of the Starkiller, known as the Dark Apprentice. And the Dark Apprentice then heads out to find the last of the rebels in order to destroy them. And the true ending, the light side ending, is where Starkiller lets Vader live, and allows the rebellion to take him into custody. And Juno is then revealed to be alive, and so they basically then, Vader is then in Rebel custody. Well, for as long as, I don't know how long he is going to be in Rebel custody at this point, but I think we all know that he won't be held that for long, will he? So like I said, you can wield dual lightsabers in this game, and the Force powers you have are pretty much the same as they always have been. You can throw your lightsabers, you can do a Force push, you can use Force lightning, you can do Force repulse, but a new one, replacing the lightning shield, is the Jedi mind trick. You can either convince your enemies to fight for you, or you can convince them to flee, basically. And as for the voice talent, Sam Witwer returns as Starkiller. He was the guy who voiced him in the previous game. And for those of you who watch all the Star Wars content on Disney+, you will know that Sam Witwer is also the voice of Darth Maul in numerous projects like Maul Shadow Lord, The Clone Wars, Rebels, all that sort of stuff. But he does a really good job voicing Starkiller in this game. Like, he really nails the amount of fury and rage that is needed to play someone like him. Especially when there's another part of the game called Force Fury mode, where you build up a meter and then press the two analog sticks together, you enter Force Fury mode, and your attacks basically become a lot more powerful. You can actually like obliterate your opponents. You can throw your lightsabers in different circles, and your Force lightning becomes even more potent. It's just incredible. The levels, there's not a boss fight on every level this time. There's only 3 bosses in the entire game. There's one against a creature called the Gorog, which is kept in an arena on the planet Cato Nemoidia. There's one against a massive Terror droid on a rebel ship, and then there's the last one against Darth Vader. And as ever, you can actually unlock different costumes and find different lightsaber crystals to customize each lightsaber. And also you can upgrade your Force powers and your attack power and all that. You know, classic stuff. And of course, the dark, and just like with the last game, the dark ending does have a bit of continuation if you buy the DLC, which basically takes the Dark Apprentice to Endor, where he actually faces off against the Rebel Alliance who are stationed there. And you actually face off against, well, firstly, you face off against Han Solo and Chewbacca. You face off Chewbacca in an AT-ST, and you actually kill him, and then you end up killing Han Solo as well. All leading up to the final fight against Leia Organa, who has actually become a Jedi herself after the fall of her brother Luke. And so basically, do all that, you basically destroy the entire rebellion, which is basically like a what-if scenario, in a way. So all in all, this game, I think it's really good. I think it's quite a good improvement over the last game. Just a bit of a shame about the lack of the fact that there's a lot less boss fights than there are in the other game. I don't have the DLC, unfortunately, so I've never actually played the Endor level. But I have seen like footage of it, I have seen videos of it, so I know what it's all about. So now this game was one of the last Star Wars games to be released before Disney bought the rights to Star Wars, and essentially these stories were made non-canon to the Star Wars timeline. So Disney basically scrapped the old expanded universe in favor of making a new one, and unfortunately this game was one of those titles in the expanded universe. So would I recommend this game over the first one? I'm not sure, to be honest, because I think they're both brilliant games in their own right, so I would recommend playing both of them, to be honest with you, and then you can make up your mind about which one you like best. In my opinion, though, I think I only just like this one better than the first one, but only just, though. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what your favourite Star Wars The Force Unleashed game is. Let me know if you're enjoying the Star Wars month this year, and I hope you'll join me for the next video. But until then, take care, everybody.